This one. Welcome, mate. Make sure you don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's go. Why is Sonic hated in Japan? To be perfectly honest with you, Sonic's not hated in Japan. They are hated. They're not loved, but definitely it's not as popular as Mario for sure. Let's get this video. Here we go.
Was a huge flop in Japan with an abysmal performance of only 180.
Oh my god, I didn't know it was that bad. Holy shit. Gets off to a bit damn dismal start. Yikes.
$80,000 on opening day. This surprised a lot of people, but hardcore fans already knew Sonic is disliked and even outright ignored by the Japanese.
It's true. Like, they're not loved, but they're not super disliked. But compared to everything else, Sonic definitely is. Like, you can barely find Sonic otakus in Japan anymore. For sure. Simultaneously, Sega is non-existent. That's part of the biggest problem with like the presence of Sega 100% dissipated from Japan because of arcade. Like, arcade gone like kaput has killed 100% the existence of Sega / Sonic.
Imagine creating a
the new gen don't know Mario. I mean, don't know Sonic.
Sonic's heartbreaking reality in Japan. Why is it that Sonic became invisible in his country of origin? This is the story of the fascinating missteps from way back in the 90s up until present.
Is this Koro?
Did Sonic fail in Japan?
Dude, Sega used to be the shit.
In Japan, we have to go back to the early 90s. While Sega was dominating Japanese arcades, their home console, the Mega Drive, known as
Mega Drive was
Genesis
bad.
in the West, was far behind in the market, competing against Nintendo's Super Famicom.
Dude, Super Famicom was lit.
In Japan.
Oh my god.
Just 3 million units, a fraction of its global sales. Sonic 2, for example, sold over 7 million copies worldwide, but Japan contributed just 260,000 copies. In Japan, Sonic wasn't a cultural phenomenon. He was just a game on a failing console. The key question is, did Sonic fail because the Mega Drive failed, or did the Mega Drive fail because Sonic couldn't capture the
Ooh, that's a good
Sonic
question.
With flashy, bold, brash, and rebellious traits, designed to appeal to Western audiences and dethrone Mario and Nintendo overseas. Sonic Team modeled Sonic on icons like Michael Jackson to appeal to 90s pop culture in the West.
Damn, look at them
Sonic's
shoes.
palette, red, white, and blue, was inspired by the American flag. His edgy, cool guy persona contrasted sharply with Japan's preference for—
That is true. Now that I've like noticed that why he said like that, he does represent kind of blue, red, white, and blue.
humble, approachable mascots like Mario and Pikachu. A particularly telling moment was Sega of Japan's decision not to release arcade ports of Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 in Japan.
That was insane. I don't understand that why they didn't do that.
Was Sonic's attitude really the problem, or did Sega's focus on the global market alienate its own backyard? The Mega Drive
Sega Saturn.
The Sega Saturn.
Focus.
The Saturn marked a rare moment of success for Sega's consoles in Japan. This was the moment that could have turned things around. But
Yes, sir. It really could have.
Sonic's struggles. The problem was—
Oh yeah, because it was a 3D poly. It was gross.
Releases like Sonic R and 3D Blast. All Sega did to try to capture the Saturn audience was releasing Sonic Jam, a compilation of older Sonic games. The intent was to reintroduce the character, but the Japanese Saturn library was already packed with brand new 3D and more complex titles, overshadowing Sonic in comparison.
Yes, sir.
Ironically, Sonic Team made a Saturn
Knights
game
was
that a huge
cool.
hit in Japan. Knights into Dreams. The funny thing is, fans of Knights didn't even know what the Sonic and Sonic Team meant. Quote, "When we made Knights into Dreams, we got a lot of letters from—
Was Knights more loved than Sonic?
And who's
Yes.
Sonic? If it weren't for the
Knights was like Knights was a really cool 3D. It really like low key if the girl got replaced by Sonic and if Sonic was a girl, they would have gotten like the love of the attention of the Japanese people back.
Sega's swan song was yet to come.
Because now you got the next gen. Oh my god. Entertainment machine.
Was their last
Dorimu Casto.
Would the launch title, Sonic Adventure, finally cement Sonic's legacy in
Yo,
Japan?
Sonic Adventure
It
was
a
lit.
reimagining of the franchise, combining 3D gameplay with JRPG-inspired storytelling.
Big
Most may not notice that this
froggy.
was Sonic's first real attempt to resonate with Japanese cultural tastes, and it paid off, with the game having very good sales in Japan. Japanese players appreciated Sonic Adventure's cinematic approach, especially its kaiju-inspired Perfect Chaos villain.
Yeah, Perfect Chaos was
The
insane.
anime-like designs of the human characters and the game's shonen-like narrative and dialogue felt familiar to Japanese audiences. But shortly after Sonic Adventure was a commercial success, the Dreamcast was crushed by Sony's PlayStation 2, and
Yep.
Sega exited the console.
You can't beat
Dreamcast
PS2,
release,
dude.
Sonic's moment in the spotlight was short-lived.
Yo, DMCA, bro. What the Sigma? Oh
Sega
no.
transitioned to a third-party developer.
Oh, dude, Sonic X?
An anime
Hell
series
yeah.
boosting Sonic's
I
popularity in
I remember Sonic X. And the funny part is that the only way I knew Sonic X was through German because that shit was on television.
featuring a theme
And
song by
I only knew Sonic X in German.
Dragon Ball
And
Z.
this is where I knew the term Ich bin ein Sonic, right? And like he was just like racing through like an F1 car, and then like the German dude's like, oh, who are you? And then Sonic's like, Ich bin ein Sonic.
Singer Hironobu Kageyama and the character Chris Thorndike, made to relate to Japanese kids whose parents have no time for them because of their excessive
Bro,
culture.
it was wild.
Flopped spectacularly. The show's ratings plummeted so badly that its third season, the Metarex Saga, never aired in Japan. It's a similar case to the
That's insane. See, usually, right? Because I know that Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, its third season never aired in NA because, aka spoiler, right? Main character technically sacrifices himself, kind of oofs himself in order to save his friends.
Sonic OVA from 1996.
That's crazy.
It was a pilot for a possible classic Sonic anime, but flopped. Ironically, Sonic X became a massive hit in the West.
Yes,
highlighting
sir.
the growing cultural divide
West
between
and the
Sonic's
Europe.
Japanese and Western audiences. Meanwhile, Sonic's games during this era suffered
Dude, Sonic 06.
inconsistent quality.
Oh,
Some
hell
games
yeah.
were successful, but others, like Sonic 2006,
Hell yeah, Sonic 06 was my go. It was so ass.
would repel
You cannot get a shittier game than Sonic 06.
Japanese gamers that already didn't have the West's goodwill towards the franchise. Therefore, Sega seemingly gave up on trying to appeal to the
Dude,
East.
Sonic
There one
06 was
specific
dog
game
shit.
that may have changed
I
everything.
loved it. Yeah, there's only one game that's loved, and that's Sonic fucking Adventures.
In 2022, Sonic Frontiers marked a turning point for Sonic in Japan. For the first time in years, a Sonic game resonated
What?
strongly with Japanese audiences.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 was the best Sonic game, hands down. But, yeah. Sonic Frontier apparently was popping off in Japan.
Sega had a very smart strategy. That paid off. Sonic Frontiers leaned heavily into Japanese cultural influences. The game's open-world design, tone, and boss fights drew direct comparisons to Breath of the
I was about to say, it's practically Neon Genesis Blade of the Kingdom.
But Rei Ayanami's voice actor played the role of Sage.
Yeah,
And that's a big
yes,
deal,
sir.
Because anime voice actors are treated as celebrities in Japan.
That's right, they're
Sega also
gods.
invested strongly in marketing. They started sponsoring Corone, a very popular Japanese video.
Oh my god, she's doing the... she's obviously not, but you know. Because she's technically doing the Kamen Rider pose, but I loved the entire flame. People were like, oh my god, Corone's a Nazi! It was so funny as shit. Yeah, Corone, by the way, the HoloLive essentially became a Sonic ambassador, which was insane.
Discovered Sonic and started playing the games on stream. They collaborated with Monster Hunter, an extremely beloved franchise in Japan, and
That's
featured the
right.
popular band One
OK Rock was
soundtrack
awesome.
and promotional material. After decades of struggle, Sonic found his stride in Japan with Frontiers, proving it's never too late to win hearts.
How long ago was that? I think it was what, 3 years ago? 4 years ago.
The game sold so well that anime series, like Shangri-La Frontier, started referencing it in the backgrounds of the episodes.
Hell yeah.
What happened to Sonic Movie 3?
Yeah, what? Damn, we really went on like a 6-minute Sonic adventure just to figure out why Sonic 3 flopped.
Sonic movies were tremendous failures in Japan. Movie 1 and 2 barely made under $3 million combined, and 3's performance was equally as bad. This is especially curious, as like Frontiers, the third movie was specifically marketed for Japan.
But see, the problem is Sonic, like the Sonic movie series already had NA flavor instead of JP flavor, so it was just like
back One OK Rock features Tokyo in the story.
It didn't help.
Sonic X Shadow, Tokyo mission to make that abundantly clear. The marketing was good, but that alone doesn't sell the movie. Unlike Frontiers, the movie's storytelling itself has a distinctly Western tone. It
was all Western, 100%.
It's a very American kind of comedy. Even huge American blockbusters like the MCU at its peak historically struggled in Japan, being vastly outperformed by Demon Slayer or Your Name.
Listen, Demon Slayer and Your Name was just top tier. You cannot compare those two with Infinity or Endgame. It's just, you can't.
It's just too Hollywood. A piece of media being aesthetically Japanese, like Sonic Movie 3, doesn't mean anything to them. It needs to be tonally Japanese, like Frontiers. It doesn't help that Movie 1 and 2 were released with months of delay in Japan, coming out in June of 2020 and August of 2022, instead of February 2020 and April 2022.
Sonic Magic.
Never achieved Mario level fame in Japan. Frontiers proved that with the right approach, he can bridge the gap. Even projects like Sonic and Friends are tapping into Japan's
What the
love
fuck is that?
Will Sega continue to build on this with the next
No.
games? Or will Frontiers be a fluke like Adventure 1? Only time will tell. But what I can
I think Sonic. Well, let me finish this video.
Have insider information that if you subscribe to our channel, Sega will make a new Sonic anime by MAPPA that turns all the characters into waifus.
Oh my god!
Obviously, everyone really wants to watch that, so subscribe.
True. But make sure you guys subscribe to the Sonic shenanigans, alright? But damn, yeah, I genuinely think Sonic should just concentrate on the Western media, because while Japanese media could work, it'll definitely not be sustainable. Because unless somehow, some way Sonic gets tapped into the gacha realm, which technically it can, but it is what it is. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll give you this in the description. If you guys enjoyed it, I'll put it in the Chatterino Cappuccino. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We are going to react to more videos soon. Peace.